Now, tonight, clock takes in what could be a make-or-break moment for embattled former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as he heads to U.S. court in a last-ditch effort to block his deportation.
Kenny, Nanaya Ofori-Atta is not scared of prosecution. He has never been, he is not, and will never be scared of prosecution. You think when Trump after this and say that he needs proof? Hell no. But I'm saying that the right of all Ghanaians should be respected. You can't call someone a thief.
We have the latest score stormed the U.S. Embassy here in Accra to pile pressure on the U.S. government to bring back Ken Ofori-Atta to face justice.
We are insisting that Ken has been responsible for the economic abortion that this nation has gone through. The premature birth that this nation suffered are all the consequences of the policies of Ken Ofori-Atta, including the deliberate stealing of state resources for his personal use.
We'll bring you details here on Top Story. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy Holy Sleep, and also by Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. And today, we take you to the U.S. court to see what will be happening there. But tonight, the clock is ticking in what could be a make-or-break moment for embattled former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as he heads to a U.S. court in a last-ditch effort to stop his deportation from America. Just 2 weeks ago, he was arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement over an expired visa. Now, this deportation case is separate from ongoing effort by Ghana's Attorney General and the Office of the Special Prosecutor to extradite him over alleged corruption-related cases. Ken Ofori-Atta has remained in the United States since early 2025, citing serious health concerns. In a court today, he is expected to plead his case in a bid to avoid deportation to Ghana to face these, alleged cases of corruption against him. We understand his lawyers are prepared to fight this to the very end. Meanwhile, civil society groups in Ghana have been picketing the U.S. Embassy in Accra, piling pressure on authorities to facilitate his removal from the U.S. to Ghana to face trial. My colleague with our research desk, Caleb Ziblim, joins me in studio with some more details about what we've been finding out. Now, Caleb, what are we learning about Ofori-Atta's hearing, which we expect to be today?
Yes, Grace. So we know that the former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, would be having his day in court at the Annandale, Virginia courts. So Annandale Immigration Courts in Virginia. And that's around the Washington area, the Washington, D.C. area. So we expect that the finance minister would be at the Annandale Immigration Courts in Virginia. We also know that in most of these processes, you are usually entitled, or you can opt to receive consular services. But then we have confirmation from the embassy in Washington that Mr. Ofori-Atta has indeed denied this service. However, speaking with the ambassador for Ghana's ambassador to the U.S.,
Victor Smith,
yes, he has confirmed to us that even though Mr. Ofori-Atta has turned down this service, they will still go ahead to send a consular officer to the court. So even though Mr. Ofori-Atta has denied this consular service, Ghana's embassy is still sending one to the court proceedings today, even though they were not requested.
Now, we know he is, rejecting the consular support because he has a great team of lawyers put together. Tell us more about them.
Yes, so we know that he's represented by, and if I can use the Attorney General's word, top-notch lawyers. And we know one of them to be Inayat Kasimi, and he works with a law firm in Washington, D.C., known as Weisford. So this law firm is one of the law firms representing Mr. Ofori-Atta in Washington. And we tried to look up the profile of
Inayat Kasimi.
And we know he's a partner at Weisford Law in Washington. He's an alternative dispute resolution expert. He's a former Afghan aviation minister and also a former legal advisor to the Afghan president. So he was also a senior official in the Afghan government before he came to the US, and then he's been practicing law in the US, and he's one of Mr. Ofori-Atta's lawyers. The other is John David Ashcroft, and this was revealed to us by the AG when he came on Newsfile. And then this John David Ashcroft, he's a former United States Attorney General from 2001 to 2005. He's also a former governor of Missouri. He's a Republican, and he's a political lobbyist as well. And in 2016, he publicly endorsed Trump. He was one of the first people to publicly endorse Trump in 2016.
So you more of to say he's a Trump ally?
He's a Trump ally, yes. So we know these two lawyers, Inayat Qasimi, former senior Afghan official, a minister and an advisor to the president, currently working at Whiteford in the Washington, D.C. area, and then a former U.S. Attorney General, John David Ashcroft.
Now, we're also learning a bit more about what may happen when the case is called today.
Yes, so if you go to the websites of the immigration court that's handling Mr. Ofori-Atta's case, and we had indications from the ambassador that this case is going to be virtual. So we checked the websites of the court case of the Annandale Immigration Court, and if you go to the website, you can see that the procedure for online is almost the same as the procedure for virtual. But the only difference is that you can be anywhere and join the immigration hearing remotely. And then if you need to submit documents or anything, you have to get it faxed, and then the court will receive the fax, go through it, and then if there's any problem, they let you rectify and all of that. It's supposed to be very swift. In fact, the research team here since morning, we've been going through some of the links, and interestingly, it's free for anyone to join. In fact, we called the courts from here at Joy News. We called the courts earlier this morning, and they confirmed to us that it's public access. Anyone can join once you have the case number. So you need to have Mr. Ofori-Atta's case number. If you have the case number, you can join the case virtually from here in Ghana. You can join the case, follow along. So we've been following some other cases in the US, hoping to catch Mr. Ofori-Atta's case. But now we have indication that the case is going to start at 6 p.m. today. So,
which is some 21 minutes away. So it is expected that by now all his documents that he will use have been faxed to the court.
Exactly.
And we also do know that anyone can follow the proceedings virtually. So we will be here, but we will also be following virtually.
Yes, but there's also a caveat. So when we reach out to the office, they confirm to us that even though it's public access, sometimes the detainee can request to the court that it's going to be a closed hearing, and that's at the discretion of the judge.
Okay.
So if the judge decides that Mr. Ofori-Atta's case is sensitive, he can decide to make it a closed hearing, and then we're not going to be able to join the case. But then generally, these cases are public access. Anyone can join the case. Once you have the case number, you can join the link. And we've gone through the websites of the immigration courts, the Annandale Immigration Courts. There are 20 judges over there that will sit on cases throughout the day. And we've gone through all 20 judges, and then we are waiting for almost 6 o'clock, and then we'll join the case virtually.
But out of the 20, we don't know who will sit on Ken Ofori-Atta's case.
Yes, we don't know who yet.
All right. But if it happens, you can count on Joy News. We will, of course, let you see what is happening in that particular court. Well, thank you very much, Caleb Ziblim, there with our research desk. But we'll also hear from lawyers of Ken Ofori-Atta shortly. But first, let's take you to the U.S. Embassy in Accra, where protesters have been picketing for several hours. My colleague Collins Frimpong was there earlier and now joins with some more details. Collins, okay, so we'll bring you much more details about that. But we've been hearing from the protesters on this particular matter and what their demand will be like. We'll be bringing you what the protesters have been saying. Bernard Mona has been speaking to Joy News. We'll listen to what he's been telling us, and then I'll join my colleague Collins on what he's been gathering more from them.
We are insisting that Ken has been responsible for the economic abortion that this nation has gone through. The premature birth that this nation suffered are all the consequences of the policies of Ken Ofori-Atta, including the deliberate stealing of state resources for his personal use. Ken stole our money and gave it to Enterprise Insurance, a company that he founded, and handed over to his wife. The monies that Ken gave...
Allegedly.
What is that?
All right, so that's Bernard Mona there. We'll bring you details of that soon. But Collins, what are the protesters still... okay, but let me first ask you, do we still have protesters at the embassy?
as at 3:30 p.m. today at the Accra Embassy, the U.S. Embassy in Accra, no one was there. And before 3 p.m., Bernard Mona and his people were already present there, and they decided to sit on the ground with their back facing the embassy. You know that no one is allowed to stand around in a particular area. So that was the situation there. But after 3:30, everybody has left the area.
But I mean, earlier in that interview, I heard you speak to Bernard Mona about what they are seeking for, why they're doing that. Tell us more about what he's been telling you.
Right, so I engaged the lead convener for Arise Ghana, who is Bernard Mona, and I asked him about the reason for this particular ticketing that they are doing at the U.S. Embassy in Accra here. And according to him, he doesn't believe in what the government of Ghana and also the OSC are doing to make sure that they extradite former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta into Ghana. He believes that they need to put pressure on the U.S. government to ensure that they deport him back to Ghana. And the only way they can do that is to ticket the embassy, and they are going to do that until it happens. If it is going to take 2 weeks, if it is going to take 1 month of Ken Ofori-Atta to be deported into Ghana, they are going to ticket the embassy for as long as they can. And he talked about some of the things that he believes that Ken Ofori-Atta was involved in during the Kuwado's government. He mentions the passes, the Mensah that according to the deputy MD for Mensah mentioned that he was sued. Good evening. And also he said government to the national government.
The one saying it, you are alleging. I am telling you that this is what happened. And Ken and his administration has not denied that they took over 10 million and gave it to Enterprise Insurance. So what is alleged about their admittance that that money was given? What is alleged about the fact that they themselves accept that there was no beneficiary who was listed for the insurance that they said they were going to provide frontline workers? How do you do insurance without any list of beneficiaries? So it is our money he has stolen. I don't know why you people want to hide behind some terminology. When somebody is a thief, you don't want to accept that he's a thief. In this matter, Ken stole our money. It's as simple as that. And so we are saying that they should bring all those that they have stolen so that the people of Ghana can use these resources judiciously. See, there is no auction that takes place and the money doesn't go to the consolidated fund. Metro mass buses were sold for 2,500 Ghana cedis. A whole bus. Even if you are selling the tie alone, will you sell it for 2,500? But whole buses were sold for 2,500. Those buses have been hidden, causing transport difficulties for us, all under the watch of Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken Ofori-Atta promised us that we were not going to spend any state resources in the construction of the National Pit style National Cathedral. We, at the end, are told that over $108 million was spent on that edifice or that pit.
So that's Bernard Mona, a leading member of the Arise Ghana. Collins, did they meet any official from the embassy or did they submit any petition?
No petition. They didn't present any petition to the U.S. embassy, as no officials from the embassy came out to meet them.
Collins, if you can position yourself well so we hear you better, we'll appreciate it.
Like, what I'm saying is that no one from the U.S. embassy came out to meet the protesters. And also the protesters led by Bernard Mona also did not plan to present any petition to the embassy on that.
I'm grateful to you, Collins. There is my colleague here, Joy News. This is still a top story on Joy. Well, let's do more on this by bringing in a member of the Ken Ofori-Atta legal team based in Ghana, Frank Davis, who has joined us on the telephone lines. And I'm grateful to you, sir. We need some education here. Now, what must we expect when this case is called at 6 p.m. Ghana time today?
Well, good evening once again. In U.S. I thought a while ago, it was all over social media that the court had such and Ken Ofori-Atta was to be deported to Ghana tonight. Well, I didn't hear that.
Well, we're dealing with facts, so we know that the case is yet to be called.
It's all over. One of the sister stations asked me this afternoon whether I was aware that it was going to be deported. Look, really, it is as if I'm getting tired to respond to all these questions. But let me tell you something. What is going to happen at 6 p.m. is called a notice to appear hearing. NTA. That's all I can tell you for now. Let us wait until 6 p.m. and we'll know what will happen. I heard you talking to your researcher. Yes, there's a public hearing and there's a closed hearing in all of these proceedings. So let us see what the judge will elect. And after that, we can speak to the issue. For now, I've told you it's an NTA hearing, a notice to appear hearing. Maybe those who are conversant with the immigration laws in America can understand what there's a little education on it. People can also research. It's an NTA hearing.
What does
immigration status?
Okay. That you said that is for the adjustment of immigration status.
For he has petitioned for an adjustment of his immigration status as to whether he will have to come back or continue to remain in the U.S. And the first step is called an NTA hearing. That's notice to appear. Because he was in lawful custody, he has to be brought before an immigration judge. So that is what is going to happen.
So this is not the ICE hauling him before court.
That was picked up by the ICE. Who again picked him up?
ICE, but you see, you said that this is about him asking for an upgradement of his status. That's why I'm asking whether...
Yeah, but an adjustment of his status, that is why the Immigration and Customs Enforcement picked him up.
After he applied?
They didn't know that. Look, I don't want to go. I've told you, let us wait for the hearing at 6 p.m. I've spoken to you on your radio on these matters. I don't think we will have to go back. I'm tired of repeating myself.
Okay.
I'm saying it's an NTA hearing. It's a notice to appear. And that is because he has applied for an adjustment of his immigration status.
Okay. Now, if the court decides that he has to come to Ghana, is it something you would want to appeal, or is Mr. Ofori-Atta ready to come to Ghana?
Let the court decide. You said if the court decides. Let the court decide. The hearing is supposed to be at 6 p.m. Ghana time, as you have told all Ghanaians. All I can say is that whatever decision is handed by the court is roundly appealable. That should be of some comfort to you. Or whatever decision is handed tonight, Kenneth Nanaya Kuntukunu Ofori-Atta has a right of appeal.
Okay. Once you're part of the legal team,
Hello?
Yes, sir. But once you know the legal team, you're a member of the legal team. Do you perchance know the name of the lawyer, the judge who's going to sit on this case?
Do I know the name of the judge?
Yeah, who's going to sit on this case, just for education purposes?
Oh, but you also, where you sit, you should be telling me. I shouldn't be telling you.
We've tried. We're not getting. That's why I want you to help us.
Experienced trained journalist, and you have a researcher whom you've spoken to before calling me. He should be able to tell you the name of the judge. Why asking me that?
We haven't gotten it, and that's why we wanted you to help us.
Well, I also don't know.
Mr. Davis, I know you to be someone who really knows stuff, but you want to control the narrative. But for educational purposes, kindly help us. Once you remember that this is probably the one who is sitting on this case, so that when all of us are going to watch this case, we have a fair idea of who we're going to watch.
Oh, but Is that not at my discretion? It is at my discretion. And I'm saying you have a researcher who has given a long commentary, give you the name of the court, which is in Virginia and all. He should be able to have at least queried.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. That's why. I was trying to get it.
Well, let him get it.
Okay. Frank Davis is a member of the Ken Ofori-Atta legal team. Professor Kojo Brace is Professor of International Law, University of Ghana. He joins us here. Prof, I mean, you listened to Ghanaians who picketed the U.S. Embassy. In terms of international law, will it have any impact on what the U.S. authorities will be considering, whether or not to get Ken Ofori-Atta into the country or not?
Thanks for having me, Kojo. I'm not sure it will have any impact at all on the proceedings that is taking place in Paraguay, United States of America. But of course, the picketers are expressing their freedom of expression, which is entirely within their rights. And there's also a space within which they can do that. So based on where they are and what they have been doing, they haven't infringed the inviolability of the embassy premises. So they are within their right to do what it is. But as to the likelihood of that influencing the outcome of the hearing in the U.S., I'm not sure it will have any impact.
What about on the extradition case that Ghana has put forth?
Neither would that have an impact.
Okay. So it means that no matter how many times we picket in Ghana, it is entirely at the discretion of U.S. authorities to take a decision, not being affected by how many pickets we have in Ghana.
Definitely. And in the U.S., the separation of powers, at least compared to Ghana, works better. Just that under the Trump administration, the ICE, as the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, have been given so much powers, which therefore seems to cross the line sometimes into the realm of judicial decision-making and even making laws. So that is where the problem is. But in general, the U.S. Immigration Tribunal that is hearing the case now is generally totally independent of any of the other arms of government, and they will make their decision without recourse to any particular influence.
But the picketing is not a judgment anyway. But will it have any sort of impact on the international stature of the former finance minister?
Well, going on a demonstration is a form of advocacy, and it's a way of expressing the feeling of a particular people against a particular action that has taken place or is about to take place. So it's a legitimate expression of a particular position or posture that is taken by a particular group of people. This group of picketers are picketing against the fact that the U.S. has slowed the process to bring Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana. And so in so doing, they are expressing the view that Ken Ofori-Atta should be brought to Ghana for trial. And that is an expression which, when the message goes out, people are going to reflect on that and to see if there's any merit in what they are doing. So at the end of the day, it's more likely to influence public opinion, but not what the government of the United States or even the government of Ghana, that would be the position of each of these governments.
Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Professor Kojo Brace is Professor of International Law at the University of Ghana. Let me bring in the convener of Arise Ghana, Bernard Mona. I'm grateful to you, Mr. Mona, for joining. Now, what is next for Arise Ghana?
Well, thank you so much. We will continue tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Still insisting that Ken continue to stay in the United States will embolden persons who currently occupy similar positions to want to also do what Ken Ofori-Atta is alleged to have done. And I said this morning that Ken Ofori-Atta's record is a very nasty record, and that should he not come to face justice, it will only go to strengthen those who hold public office today, that they can also do harm to our nation, to the betterment of their individual and family businesses.
Okay. But
so
once we are told that your picketing will not have any impact on what the U.S. authorities will decide to do, and once we also know that it takes legal processes to then for Ken Ofori-Atta to be deported to Ghana or extradited to Ghana, why continue picket when you know it will have no value to the process, and not urge the Ghanaian authorities to use legal processes to get him back to Ghana?
I am surprised that anyone will get to that conclusion. In the United States of America, various protests are held against government so that the government will be informed that certain happenings are not acceptable to the citizenry. And so what we are doing is to let the United States of America know, and I am very certain that before daybreak in the United States of America, word had reached them that there were some citizens in Ghana who were occupying the premises of their embassy. And what was it about? It was about the former finance minister who, in their view, have absconded with the loot, the stolen things that he had done, the record of theft, and that they want him to come and face justice. If that cannot influence or that cannot inform judgment, and then I doubt. If a U.S. person also decides to go and loot the American state and run to Ghana, then it means that our authorities will also be emboldened not to release the person because the person would have had investment in Ghana.
So is your expectation that what you did at the embassy today will have any impact on the hearing at 6 p.m. tonight?
Oh, I think that the hearing has nothing to do with our petition. The hearing has to do with Ken Ofori-Atta's request to have a longer term stay in the United States of America. And so that has nothing to do with the extradition, that the people of them to come and account for his stewardship. And so that is why we want to remind him that if you are detaining Ken because he has overstayed his visa, also be informed that he has charges waiting for him in his home country. So in whatever you do, you must be minded that this is the person that is sought for to come and answer questions of his office.
I'm grateful to you, Mr. Bernard Mona. He is convener of Arise Ghana. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holding Exercise Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you. Up next is Newsnight, right after these.
You know how much moms always say bad? But there's one too much mom actually approves of. Telecel's Too Much Broadband Bundle. This season, all you have to do is buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Too Much Broadband Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and get 150% bonus data. That's right.
Simply buy the 150 Ghana Cedis Telecel Too Much Bundle in addition to your main broadband plan and receive 150% bonus data. Dial *900#, use the Telecel Play app or visit the Telecel website to buy now.
Telecel, connecting energies.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Mensah Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
For many years, we've been solving Ghana's water storage problems with quality tanks. Syntex tank. You know, it is strong, it's tough, and reliable. And now, we're in to solve the #1 problem when it comes to water carriage: our pipes. With the state-of-the-art machinery, Syntex is providing very strong, tough, reliable, high quality and durable pipes at a reasonable price. This is Syntex Pipes. With Syntex Pipes, water flows wow. I mean, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. If they carry water, no wahala. With Syntex Pipe, our water problems are solved. Syntex, are you strong? Are you tough?
At 18, Mr. Mensah got his first student mattress. It was hard and unyielding, just what he thought he needed. At 46, he chose a mattress that was too soft and did not provide him adequate support. Now at 66, when you hear Mr. Mensah coming, he groans and croaks. Now he needs a chiropractor. The choices you make catch up with you. Talk to a comfort expert at Latex Foam to help you choose from pocketed spring mattresses to orthopedic and high-density foam mattresses tailored for your age, posture, and body type. And now, Latex Foam is even more. From home to office furniture that has your back, Latex Foam has a range of durable products that give you total comfort for a healthier life. View our full product range on our new interactive website at latexfoamghana.com or visit Latex Foam showrooms nationwide to speak to a comfort expert. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
And you are live here on News 90s on Joy 99.7 FM. And in the next few minutes, we'll be taking you live to Washington, D.C. and bringing you a live feed from the courtroom where former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is scheduled to appear before an immigration judge. We are going to be bringing you this live because we've seen that his lawyer is on standby. He has joined this virtual feed. That is an indication that Ken Ofori-Atta, his case is going to be called pretty shortly. You want to stay with us here on Newsnight for that. Also tonight,
livelihoods and dozens of homes destroyed in inferno at Circle VVIP Intercity bus station as firefighters struggle in a 3-hour battle to contain the blaze.
People sleep here, and most of the Nigerians that sell Nigerian food, they have local market that they sell the food stuff.
Like this place now they are poaching, my brothers have shops there, so
where the fire is still
yeah.
We can make sure that this evening what they will eat, where
no,
they will
Your
sleep,
Honor,
they're able to
if
provide
possible, could I have an appeal date? I wish to reserve appeal.
Sure.
We have the very latest plus here from the Fire Service and NADMO.
Also tonight, Sak Ablakwa, MPP minority in Parliament, up in arms against Foreign Affairs Minister, describing him as unfit for the position as they demand his immediate sacking for alleged incompetence.
Ghana's reputation in the world demand it. Your foreign minister have outlived his usefulness. He has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he lacks the temperament to manage complex bilateral relations.
More as the minority also demands the recall of Ghana's ambassador to the U.S., Victor Smith.
Also tonight, Vice-Chancellors wade into raging controversy that has pitched University of Ghana Teacher Union against regulatory body GTEC as they call for calm heads.
It has never come to let them resign or anything like that. We are all trying to do the best for the country. So normally when issues like this come up, what we have always done is to engage, to talk, to brainstorm, to determine which way is appropriate for all of us.
Later, GPRT launched crackdown against recalcitrant members in Accra as it deploys enforcement teams in the next 24 hours to compel drivers to charge only authorized fares.
If anybody, any executive misbehave towards the decision taking, that person should be suspended, and the members as well.
You want to stay with us here on Newsnight and share your comments with that. We'll also bring you business, and George is here with that.
Where some oil marketing companies warn industry risks collapsing if the fuel price floor program is actually abolished.
Send me your comments, 055-11-11997. It's the WhatsApp line, and we'll be taking you pretty shortly to the United States of America, very specifically to Washington, D.C., where former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is scheduled to appear before a judge at the Annandale Immigration Court in Virginia, and his case is going to be heard pretty shortly. His lawyers are on standby to intervene in his last-ditch effort to prevent a deportation back to Ghana. You want to stay with us for that all here on Newsnight. But we start tonight from that blaze that we're learning Gemma has wiped out livelihoods.
So the fast started at about 10 a.m. this morning and swept through kitchens, mobile phone, accessory shops and others, taking firefighters close to 3 hours to fully get it under control. This is the third time fire has swept through structures at Circle in this month alone. James Aveji was at the scene of the fire and joins me in studio with details. James, first paint a picture for us, the magnitude of this fire and why the firefighters had to battle for close to 3 hours to douse it.
Well, Gemma, so this is a place that is set up with wooden structures from plywood to other combustible materials, and this particular fire, these structures, we are told, are used for cooking and selling to the general public, as well as a sleeping place for other squatters in the area. It also has LPG gas cylinders in those structures, as well as fridges and all of that. And so that's where the things we are told that escalated the burning of the structures in this particular place. It started at about 10:30 a.m. All the way to about 12:30 before the fire officers have been able to douse it. They brought in fire engines one after the other. We are told about 15 or 16 fire engines were the ones they used to douse this fire. I've been speaking to some of the traders who stay in the area who have been telling me what they also know.
There's a woman that the fire start. She cook at the back at the back of the washroom, and they said the fire started small, so they quickly rushed to the fire station to call them that there's a fire burning. Then later realized that there's a problem with the car, the fire service car. So
the tender that is just opposite this.
That's what this alleged, but I don't have any fact. But there's a problem with the car. So they try to start it. It doesn't kick on for them to come. So they call Accra branch to come and help with the fire outbreak. So that's the little thing I know about it.
So the shops we see here, the place that is burnt, what are the items they sell here?
Normally, people sleep here, and most of the Nigerians that sell Nigerian food, they have the local market that they sell the food stuff. Okay. That is what I know about those people working here.
The fires.
What do you sell?
I sell phone accessories.
Phone accessories.
Yeah.
But have you also removed the things from your shop? I see a number of your colleagues.
I didn't remove because my shop is at the dam there.
But you have left your shop now to also help the situation.
Yeah.
Are these things that are burning? Do they belong to any of your friends? Do you know in the owners of any of them?
I know some. Like this place now, they are quenching. My brothers have shops there, so.
He's what?
He's selling accessories too. So at the back here, see the building burning there.
Okay.
Is there
where the fire is still burning?
Yeah. It's the back of their shop is burning like it.
Has he been able to pack his things from the shop?
Yeah.
He's been able to pack them?
Yeah.
Okay, so which means that he's not losing anything?
Yes. But some people are losing, so...
Apart from the phone accessories, what else do they do over here?
No, people live here, so... Like this place is people's house.
All this they use it as a sleeping
place? Yeah. All this place is people's house.
So, James, that was your conversation with some of the traders. You spoke to the Chief Regional Fire Officer on site. What's their own appreciation of the situation?
So, the Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service, Assistant Chief Fire Officer 2, Mensah, tells me that the information they are getting is that the fire might have started from one of the shops there. That is their preliminary information, which they would be investigating further. He also tells me that the evidence of cooking utensils at the site means that the place is used as a domestic and residing place. And so those are some of the informations they will be taking into the investigation to unravel fully what might have happened.
We are told and it's been confirmed that it started from a kiosk, but as to what caused the fire in the kiosk is what we are here to investigate further.
Okay. Just lastly, I'm also told that this place largely is used for cooking as well as sleeping from some people. I see a number of items there which seek to suggest that how helpful would this information be to your investigation?
As for looking for fire outbreaks in settlements like this, cooking cannot be ruled out. You can see pans, you can see cylinders that has been used, which is an indication. These are all signs that domestic activities are going on here. So these are things that we cannot rule out in our preliminary investigations. You can even video them right here. You can see the pans there, which is an indication that these are human settlements. So yeah.
James is still here. James, what about the NADMO? Were they on site, and what more have they been saying?
The NADMO has been on site both from the district, the municipal, as well as the regional level, together with the Accra Mayor himself, Ni Ekpakpo-Alote, whom we will hear from first, saying that they will cordon off the place for a further decision on what to use it for going forward. NADMO is also saying that they are currently assessing the persons that are affected to see what relief items that would be suitable for them, especially this evening before tomorrow.
And we thank God so much. There was no casualty, and just a few properties have been lost. But I'm going to join team with my brother here, and we are going to clear the place for a fresh start.
Any information on the number of structures that have been?
Over 50.
When the fire is finally done, we'll move in to identify each occupant by its structure.
Which means that you haven't been able to identify.
Well, now that there is still fire over there, so we are leaving that for the National Fire Service to do that. When they are done, we'll move in immediately. You can see some of my officers putting down notes. We interview some of the occupants. We have to make sure that we identify you by your structure, so that if there is any help from government, we can make sure that this evening, what they will eat, where they will sleep, we are able to provide it.
Which items are you providing?
Oh, that one, when we get to the ground, we'll let you know.
Does that mean you will be giving them mattresses, rice, oil as you do?
When we get to the grounds, we know. We are now going to identify. You see, we give them the items based on the needs. If they are babies, if they are pregnant women, some people don't need rice, some people just need a sleeping place. You understand? So we identify them by those, and then we can give the relief.
But if it happens that they are living here illegally, would you still go ahead and provide the needed support?
We have to, because we are in to manage disasters, and disasters has no boundary. Irrespective of they being here illegally, they are Ghanaians. So if something has happened to them, they are our sisters, they are our brothers. We must make sure that we get them back to their normal livelihood.
So we can now actually get to talk to Rashid Kwame Xiao. He is a Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Fire Service. Also joining us is Abdullah Larry. He's a Greater Accra Regional PRO of NADMO, because NADMO is also involved in trying to bring some relief to those affected. But let's get to the Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Fire Service now. Rashid, thanks for your time here on Newsnight. Do you have any preliminary information about what might have started this fire?
Okay, so good evening to you and good evening to your cherished listeners. Just like the interview I granted to you at the fire ground, what we had was that there is this Nigerian lady who resides in a kiosk over there, and then that is where the fire erupted from. And our investigations, preliminary investigations at that, to add to what I told you this afternoon, she was cooking and left the food unattended to, and that is our preliminary findings, and that is what caused the inferno that we all saw this afternoon.
And so far, that is what you suspect. This must have been fire from this cooking that was happening close to this site.
I can't hear you. Can
you hear me? So far, as far as your preliminary assessment is concerned, it's fire coming from cooking at the site. That is our preliminary investigation. I told you in the afternoon it erupted from a particular kiosk, and now I am not adding on to you that what the person residing in that kiosk was doing was that she was cooking and left the food unattended to, and that is what the results that we saw this afternoon. But of course, we have not closed our investigations. We will continue and make our further investigations, and if there's anything that we need to add or we have also found, we'll make it known to you, just like I did this afternoon and this evening that I am giving out to you. Our reporters on the ground say it took you about 3 hours to get it under control. What made it so difficult?
You know, firefighting in the slum areas, there are so many obstacles and then the hindrances to the effective or smooth operation. Number one is accessibility to the place. We could also only access the place through the main road. Pedestrians and occupants of the place, Circle has a lot of young men. They wouldn't allow us to do the firefighting. They were interfering, so we had to call for police assistance. Other challenges that we face that belong to the firefighting was also accessibility to water. There was no water around. We need to commit to Kukumlimli and its environs to go and get water to come and then extinguish the fire. And that explains the numerous fire tenders that we mobilized and the private tankers that also came from KMA to come and assist.
We understand that this is the third fire incident at the area. In fact, on the 2nd of January, there was a fire incident at the VVIP station. Why is that?
You are asking why there are fire outbreaks in that area?
At the same spot?
Yes. Like I told you, that particular place is supposed to be a market. And if we want to define a market, it is a place for buying and selling. But this is a situation that the market is also being used as a dwelling place. And dwelling places, people are ironing because they need to wear clothing. People are cooking because they need to eat. If there is light off, they need to lit candles. If mosquitoes are disturbing them, they need coil to ward away mosquitoes. So when these activities are going on, you are mixing human settlements with markets. Unfortunately, that is what we are experiencing, and that is what is causing the fires. So then, until we are able to dedicate and say this is a market, it is meant for buying and selling. It is not for people to come and recite there. I showed your reporters extinguishers that we had retrieved from the fire outbreak. It's a threat to firemen. They were exploding. LPG cylinders were exploding here and there. We took not less than 30 to 40 cylinders from there. You see, these are all assurance that will increase the burning. So when these things are there, you don't expect to get any good results than what we saw this morning, unfortunately, please.
So is the fire service taking steps now? You know the problem. Taking steps now, working with city authorities to remove those who are in this particular area who should not be there?
Luckily, the mayor was there with us this morning. He saw things for himself. The MP for Ayawaso, the area was there himself. The MC, everybody was there. All the opinion people, those who matter, the chief officer himself was there. And the instructions are that from tomorrow going, there will be stakeholders meetings who, as we as experts, will table and then put these suggestions forward and see if we'll be able to prevent them from reconstructing those mixed structures which are fire-proof.
Thank you very much. Rashid Kwame Xiao is the Greater Accra Regional Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service. We still have with us Abdullah Lowry, is the Greater Accra Regional PRO of NADMO. And Abdullah, do you have a fair idea how many people have been left displaced on the back of this fire?
Hello, James.
Hi, Abdullah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Do you have an idea how many people have been displaced?
Yes, so from the preliminary information we have from the police, there are about 50 stores which have been affected by the fire.
50, yes. But what about those who lived in them? Have you managed to count the individuals actually affected and what NADMO is going to do to give them some relief tonight?
Yeah, so this evening around 4:30 p.m. we were at the scene together with our regional director and then the regional minister. We have engaged them and informed them that they should come back tomorrow where we will continue with the assessment of the various victims because we understand people sleep there. We didn't know that that place was actually used as residence. But from the assessment of the incidents on site, we found out that people actually sleep there, and we are unable to provide the accurate details of the number of individuals who sleep there and have been affected. So hopefully tomorrow, once we engage them again, we'll be able to identify them and their various structures which have been burned down. Others are wooden structures, others are the metal containers.
What happens to them today? You're talking about the measures you're going to put in place tomorrow. What happens about tonight?
For tonight, unfortunately, that place isn't earmarked as a residence, actually. It's a marketplace. Upon assessing the incidents, like I mentioned earlier, before we found out that other people reside there, there are squatters there. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to provide a sleeping place tonight. We have informed them about this. And they have also agreed with us that they will find a place and come back tomorrow so that we continue with their assessment. And then we know the kind of relief items we give because there are people who engage in business and others who sleep there. So the relief items will differ by their needs. Business people might need some sort of financial support, while the residential people who have been affected might need relief items, from food, and something that has to do with clothing. Yeah, so we will complete the assessment tomorrow, and then we give them the specific relief items they need.
Abdullah Larry, thank you so much for your time. He's the Greater Accra Regional PRO for NADMO.
And you're still live here on News 90 on Joy 99.7 FM. We're watching very closely what is happening right now at the Annandale courtroom, where we're expecting former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to make an appearance pretty shortly. We have an update for you on proceedings so far. My colleague Caleb Ziblim is with me in the studio with that. Caleb, what do we know so far?
Yes, Evan. So we just got access to the courtroom where the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is expected to make his case. And while monitoring the proceedings, his case has not yet started, but we've seen that his lawyer, Inayat Kasimi, who I spoke about earlier, he's a former Afghan minister and a lawyer at Whiteford in the Washington, D.C. area. We've seen that he's in a meeting, so and that supposes that Mr. Ofori-Atta will join the meeting very shortly. Also, while we are monitoring the meeting, we've seen that there's a different court case going on, and hopefully after that court case, that will be Mr. Ofori-Atta will take his turn. And then while we're monitoring the case, we noticed that the deputy consul for Ghana at the Ghana embassy to the U.S. arrived at the courtroom. The judge asked him what he was doing in the courtroom, and he introduced himself as the deputy consul for Ghana.
So he's there in person?
He's there in person.
Although this is virtual.
Although this is virtual.
In fact, Ofori-Atta's lawyer appears to be joining virtually.
Yes, virtually.
But the consular officer, the deputy, ambassador there, I believe. That's how he introduced himself.
He introduced himself as the deputy consul for Ghana.
Okay,
at
deputy
the Ghana
consul.
embassy.
Is there in person? But there's a background to this because we have reached out to the Ghana embassy in Washington to get clarity on whether they're going to send a representation. What did we learn?
So we know they offered, and Mr. Ofori-Atta turned them down. But after speaking with Mr. Victor Smith, the ambassador to Washington, to the U.S., he informed us that even though Mr. Ofori-Atta had denied his consular service, they will still go there either way. And this has confirmed that Ghana is still representing Mr. Ofori-Atta, giving him consular services, even though he declined it earlier.
Okay, and so we're now just simply waiting for his case to be called. And what will happen, as we know, is that Ofori-Atta will join from his detention center.
Yeah.
That is the Caroline Detention Center. And from what we've seen, the detainees are dressed in official, attire which you wear when you are either a convict or you are serving time or you are in an ICE detention facility. They appear to be in yellow. And this all tracksuit yellow that they appear. So if you watch the movies in the US, that's what the prisoners appear to wear. And at least all the detainees who have appeared, there's currently a case that's currently being heard. This individual also joined virtually. He's seated quietly, looking into this camera. He's wearing his short-sleeved yellow, and looks like an all yellow, suit, not a suit,
an overall.
An overall. I was going to say Gemma could describe it better because I know she's into fashion, but it isn't at all. And nothing fashionable about this. This is just what you wear to mark you as a detainee, and then his lawyer is making the case on his behalf. So both of them have their videos turned on. So you can see the detainee seated, looking pretty morose, whilst his lawyer obviously is making his case from the comfort of his office. The judge is there listening because you also have a wide view of the courtroom itself with the judge seated. So we're expecting that this will be same for Ken Ofori-Atta when he shows up from his Caroline Detention Center in his detainee uniform. Yellow, with his lawyer Inayat Kasimi also putting on his camera, and let's see his face, making the case for him. His lawyers in Accra, particularly the Frank Davis, has said to us on Top Story that this is actually an adjustment of status hearing. But as we've heard already from the ICE, this is supposed to be a deportation hearing. So this is going to be clarified pretty shortly for us once this case is called.
Yes, it will be clarified when the case is called, Evans.
You want to stay with us. You also want to join us on the Joy News channel because we're going to be bringing you this live as it unfolds. And as and when we have a development, we'll bring that to you until we get into the live hearing itself. Let's come back here. And something related, though, Gemma, coincidentally to the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Because the Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Kojo Brace, is tonight facing accusations of incompetence and simply being unfit for that particular position. The scathing attack was launched today by the MPP minority in Parliament, who called a news conference to demand the immediate sacking of the minister. The minority argues that the minister's approach to diplomacy has been reckless and risks undermining Ghana's relations with other countries. Now, Gemma, you were at this news conference. Did they have any specifics to back these claims?
Yes, Evans, the group cited Ghana's response to the alleged unfair treatment and deportation of Ghanaians from Israel as an example of what it describes as poor diplomatic judgments. They also cite the minister's comments on the Israel-Gaza conflict and the recent abduction of the Venezuelan President Maduro, on which Mr. Ablakwa issued a strongly worded statement, Evans, you remember. Now, the deputy ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafoye, told us at the news conference that Mr. Ablakwa's predecessors demonstrated higher levels of professionalism in the management of Ghana's foreign affairs.
We say we cannot continue down this path. The national interests demand change. The welfare of millions of Ghanaians demand it. Ghana's reputation in the world demand it. Your foreign minister have outlived his usefulness. He has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he lacks the temperament to manage complex bilateral relations. He has shown that he values applause over achievement, rhetorics over results, and most damningly, his pattern of reckless diplomacy has made Ghana less safe, less respected, and more vulnerable on the international stage. The minority therefore calls on you, Your Excellency, to remove Samuel Kojo Brace from the foreign minister's portfolio immediately and appoint in place a competent diplomat, a proven experience, a steady judgment, and a genuine commitment to a genuine person of commitment to Ghana's long-term standing interest over personal political theater. Furthermore, we call on civil society organizations, professional associations, diaspora groups, and all patriotic Ghanaians to add their voice to this demand. This is not partisan matters. It is a matter of national survival.
Well, the group also called for the recall of Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Smith, and they're asking for this to be done immediately. We can get some further clarity on this, Gemma.
So the deputy ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafoye, who addressed the press, has joined us. Welcome to News 9. Let me start with this question. Why do you want Kojo Brace sacked?
Okay, so let me thank you and then also thank your listeners. We made some points. You've played a bit and excerpts of it. But we laid a premise and then gave some evidence. Our basis and point was that, look, ever since you took office as a Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trump administration has given several indications on visa sanctions. In fact, we had 5 years visa, and then they reduced it to 3 months. We had multiple visa, and they reduced it to single entry. These are times, and we've seen this thing happening with Trump. He uses the visa application or the visa regime to bargain, to do a lot of things. So your job as a Minister for Foreign Affairs is to study this pattern, set up a committee or a team, constantly engage the PUTUs or Washington to ensure that we are always at the safer side. Now, you see, we also laid a basis to prove that U.S. is one of our biggest remittance base. Annually, globally, we get 6.6 billion from remittance. Only from U.S., we get 2.5 billion from U.S. These are not loans. They have no conditionalities. They are sweat from our brothers and sisters who are working there or who are staying there or who are remitting money back home to build for them, to pay school fees, to take care of families, and to support livelihoods. So the freeze on migrant visa is a huge and a big deal. So for the minister, and we mentioned it, for the minister not to have known this
and
pattern.
he seeks cancellation of removal in the form, or cancellation of removal for certain non-permanent.
Unfortunately, apologies to you. We just getting into interference now in this, and please pardon us because there's some breaking news on this that we need to bring to you as we are following very closely this hearing in the United States of America. To be very precise, the in Washington, where the former finance minister is scheduled to come before an immigration judge. I can confirm to you that the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, just walked in short from the Caroline Detention Center and took his seat. Let me describe what I see. He's wearing a face mask. So this is what you typically wear when you have COVID, what we all wore and bought. As I currently speak to you, one of the, you have the stretcher that goes behind your ear, two of them, that locks it in and covers your nose and mouth. One of them is loose. The other is grabbed onto his ear still. And he's seated very calmly. He walked in. He's wearing his detainee uniform, it appears, or something that looks like that. He's walked out now. He came in a jacket that was on top of that. He had a white nose face mask that was on, which I described for you. He looked calm and he took a seat. And he's now just gotten up again and left the shot. So that's what we see from the courtroom where Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, had just walked in and he took a seat. You remember that he's been detained at the Caroline Detention Center. He walked in confidently and sat in the seat. He appears to be wearing, Gemma, you saw that. He appears to be wearing his detainee uniform. The other gentleman whose case was being heard before he came in was in a yellow overall.
Right.
He appears to be in a black overall, short sleeves as well, but he had a jacket on it. And the only distinctive thing I had described for you is that he had his nose mask on, a white nose mask. He sat down and one of the straps to the ear was off, but he was on. He just got out of shot now. When he comes back in shot, I'll bring that to you. We're keeping a very close eye on this. You can also join us on the Journal channel and watch us unfold. It's not always you have a former finance minister in detention who appears on the live stream before. He's come back now. I can confirm he's in an overall. He is in a detention detention uniform. In the detention uniform. He has his spectacles tilted on his forehead. He's taking his seat now. I'm talking about Ken Ofori-Atta, and he's looking straight into the camera now. And this is black with white buttons, with the top button close to his neck open. He's now trying to adjust his nose mask to cover his nose and mouth more appropriately, and he's seated there, just like the other detainee, by the way, looking pretty calm and into the camera. This is an indication that his case is going to be called anytime soon. And I can also confirm his lawyer is in the room, Anayat Kwasibi, not in the room on the virtual link, the WebEx virtual link, and he hasn't activated his camera just yet because his case hasn't been called. This indicates to me that his case is next, and so he's asked to sit for this case that is currently being heard to be wrapped up. And the lawyer, obviously, from all the cases we've seen, the lawyers also turn on their camera. But if you're just joining us, breaking news from the Washington, I can confirm to you that Ken Ofori-Atta is currently seated in a room from the Caroline Detention Center, appearing before a U.S. immigration judge. He is in a detention uniform. It's black with white buttons, short sleeves. He has a nose mask on, and he has his spectacles that has been tilted on top of his forehead and is looking into the camera. He's seated, as you would do when you're appearing before a panel to be questioned. You can just create an image in your head. He has both hands appearing to rest on the arms of the chair he's seated on. And he's looking into the camera now, looking very calm. He came in first and left and has walked back in. He is now moving some. He has some documents in front of him. He's looking through it now as this happens. I'm gonna bring you the feed now, and let's listen in, and I can fill it in as and when I have to.
Okay, muchas gracias. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. You too. The matter is adjourned.
And so we're expecting now for Ken Ofori-Atta's case now to be called. And that gentleman had just taken his seat. So there are two detainees now in short. Ken, another one from Farmville.
No, slowly.
Who's in Farmville? 148.
And we're still now. What you hear in the background is a live feed from the.
Is counsel for 148 present? 148.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe. Yes.
All right. So we're going to do the Farmville case from 148.
Well, 148 is a number for another detainee. They're not even calling them by name. They're just simply numbers now. That's Ken Ofori-Atta's lot tonight. He's a number. We'll hear his number, and we'll know when he's called and his case has been called. But there's a case, a detainee 148, whose case has been called. His lawyer is called Anthony Clements.
January 20th, 2026. This is Immigration Judge David Gardy in the Annandale Immigration Court. This is a master calendar hearing in the detained matter of Jorvis Samet Martinez, 246-190-148. The respondent is detained at the Farmville Detention Center and is represented by counsel, who are both appearing via WebEx. Would the attorneys please enter their appearances?
Anthony Clemens speaking for the respondent.
ACCA Anderson on behalf of DHS.
Right, and counsel, is that your client in the Farmville WebEx?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you waive interpretation of the today's master calendar hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what you're hearing there is another case of detainee 148. You're waiting to see Ken Ofori-Atta's number. As I say, is a number. He's going to be referred to as a number, simply 148. And whatever it is that his number is will be called, and then his case will be up. I can describe for you now what I see in my shot. He's still seated very calmly. He has a pile of documents in front of him, Ken Ofori-Atta, former finance minister. Very calm. His demeanor, from what we know as a finance minister, hasn't changed. He comes in quietly, he sits quietly, his hands are rested on the arms of the chair, and he's wearing his nose mask, white one. His spectacles have now been moved straight onto his eye now, because at some point I saw him reach out to get his pen and read through some of his documents before him. His lawyer is still there. I see him already joined virtually. And by the way, the other case has been heard is from the Farmville Detention Center. There are two major immigration detention centers in Washington, in the Virginia area. The Caroline Detention Center and the Farmville Detention Center. The Caroline Detention Center is where Ofori-Atta is currently, and that is an area that is renowned to be to have a situation of overcrowding. In 2025, in the peak of Trump's immigration crackdown, they had exceeded their limit by more than 10 detainees. And we spoke to the immigration lawyer last week, who told us that the cell in which Ofori-Atta will be kept is made for a maximum of 2 people. That she won't be surprised that they will possibly be sleeping more than 2 people in that particular cell. And he's joining from there. You can see clearly is Caroline 1, Caroline Detention Center. He's the individual who's going to be called from there.
But Evans, it will be interesting to see whether the former finance minister will speak, because he has a pile of documents in front of him. I'm wondering what exactly those documents are going to be or do to his case, especially when his lawyer is supposed to join and make that case for him. It will be interesting to hear him speak and defend himself, if that is even allowed at this court sitting, Evans.
Absolutely. Another thing that we also know fascinating about the Current Detention Center, it's not only detainees, as in those who are deemed to be non-criminals who are held there. Ofori-Atta currently is a non-criminal because he hasn't been convicted of anything. He's innocent until proving otherwise. This is, from what we understand, he was picked up by ICE, so this is an immigration offense. But that particular facility also houses criminals, and they are more than 60% of those kept there are non-criminals. You'll be part of that bunch, but a small minority of the group, around 30% plus, are criminals, and they share that facility. And we'll wait to see what happens when this is called. I can tell you that he's reached into the bottom of his detainee uniform and scratching it a bit, and also trying to fix his arm, his short sleeves. Seated very calmly. You see that, Gemma?
He still has his nose mask on, but he's very calm as usual. We know the finance minister to have this calm demeanor all the time, even in the midst of chaos. So he's calm and has the nose mask on, a pile of documents in front of him. He looks calm. His lawyer is not, he's still on, but his video is not on yet. The case is yet to be called. Now the immigration judge is hearing another case. We don't know whether that is right, or Ofori-Atta's case will be right after what has been heard now. But that's the situation at the courtroom. We do know that the Ghana's embassy has sent a consular there to provide that service to him, which he refused some few days ago, Evans.
Yeah, I mean, and Victor Smith, who is the ambassador there, explains to us, yes, that he's rejected the offer for assistance from the embassy, but they will be there to observe, and they have formally been introduced. We're going to take a break for business, and we're going to keep an eye on this. Indeed, when his case is called, whatever is happening, we will breaking and bring you the live feed from that courtroom where Ken Ofori-Atta is billed to now appear before an immigration judge. He's seated, by the way, very calmly waiting for his case to be called. George Wafe is here with business. George.
Hi, Evans. And coming up in business, some oil marketing companies warn industry risk collapsing if the fuel price floor policy is abolished. And you this one in Preston to the Ghana Insurance Association, Boatima Bafwewa highlights new wave of products aimed at expanding coverage. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials, Syntax and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mappé. Et Mappé. Hey, Asamo. French, you dear. This is a midi croissant.
Meet Aja. She makes sobolone in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
Watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no na. My boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN Ejumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
Andra, challenge these days, new level crowd. Where did you pass?
Me, pass somewhere. I just switched for a better life. I switched for comfort. Look, your salary deserves better.
Switch?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I switched my salary account to Fidelity Bank, and that's my jackpot. I get higher loan amounts with lower interest rates, as well as personalized financial support. They gave me a loan to expand my side hustle, and the terms are just flexible.
Wow.
Your salary deserves better.
Oh, my salary deserves better, Pa. You see the way you are smiling wide? Yes, I will switch and smile wider. Your salary deserves better. Switch to Fidelity Bank today and enjoy lower interest rate, car and home loan, personalized financial support, and a smile that lasts. Switch and smile wider. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I lay your side, Fidelity.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
First Sky Group, a wholly owned Ghanaian company made up of First Sky Construction, First Sky Bitumen Processing, First Sky Commodities, Volta Serene Hotel, Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, Serene Insurance, First Sky Energies, and Federal Rural Bank warmly welcomes you to its 23rd Thanksgiving service on the theme Proclaiming the Mighty Deeds of the Lord, Psalm 71:15-16. The Thanksgiving service in two parts will be hosted by the founder and executive chairman, Mr. Eric Sadu Kotoche. The first part begins on Friday, January 23rd, 2026, and all night from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. at the Trinity Temple Assemblies of God Church, TTAG, Community 10, Tema. Ministering in word, Reverend Mark Sisse, Assistant General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Sierra Leone, Reverend Aaron Fant, Senior Pastor, Wind and Fire Sanctuary, Assemblies of God, Temale, Ghana, Reverend Sujit Alex, famed North Area Leader, Assemblies of God, UK. The second part continues on January 25th, 2026. There will be a Thanksgiving service at the main auditorium of the Accra International Conference Center. The time is 10 a.m. Guest speaker, Reverend Dominic Yo, Global Chairman, World Assemblies of God, and General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Singapore. Chairman for the occasion, Apostle General Sam Kwanche Ankara, General Overseer, Royal House Chapel International. Special guest of honor, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Also in attendance will be His Eminence Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, General Overseer, Action Chapel International, Reverend Stephen Wilson Ringam, General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Ghana, and the Vice Chairman, Africa Assemblies of God, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong-Mansong, Immediate Past General Superintendent, Assemblies of God, Ghana, Most Reverend Professor Johnson Kwabena Asamoah Jedu, the Presiding Bishop, the Methodist Church, Ghana, Reverend Steve Mensah, General Overseer, Charismatic Evangelistic Ministry, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Buafo, Past Presiding Bishop, Methodist Church, Ghana, Apostle Professor Kojo Opoku Onina, Past Chairman, Church of Pentecost, Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, an international evangelist, Reverend Dr. Silvanus Amegashiti Elom, Group Corporate Chaplain, First Sky Group, and other senior clergy. Ministry in Music will be Minister Kofi Owusu-Popra. For more details, please contact 020-854-3441 or 0248-940-021.
And you're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, some oil marketing companies are warning that the risk of collapsing if the new fuel price program is removed by the regulator. These concerns were captured in an industry document requesting for an emergency meeting. Details in the following report.
Petroleum price floor is not. I believe the policy has gone a long way to bring some sanity into the industry, especially when it comes to the pricing of petroleum products and quality assurance as well. These firms believe that without this program, most of the indigenous oil marketing companies could be pushed out of the market. One of the notices seen by Joy Business, for instance, argues that the fuel price floor policy was actually pushed by the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies and later adopted by the regulator. Therefore, at this stage, they argue that they cannot turn around and ask the regulator to abolish a policy, considering the impact it has had on the industry so far. Based on these arguments for and against the policy, some industry watchers fear that a common ground or position may not be reached at tomorrow's emergency meeting on the issue.
And that is a business Jack report. Now, the new president of the Ghana Insurance Association, Boatema Bafwe, said she will lead a charge for a new wave of innovative insurance products and systems aimed at improving consumer trust while expanding coverage. She has been speaking to the media after a program to swear into office today.
I think the first thing we need to do as insurers is to ensure that public education and on insurance and the products that are being sold out there are properly explained to the clients. I believe if we're able to do that, people will be able to patronize the insurance a bit better. I think the second one as well is to give variety in the product offerings and also to make sure that it is affordable, because as my speech said, there's a large net that is uninsured, and most of the time it's probably because of funds and affordability. So we also need to look at the wider net to be able to catch all those that don't have insurance as well.
That's the newly sworn-in president of the Ghana Insurance Association, that is Boatema Bafwe. And that's all for Business on Newsnight. It's time for sports.
And in sports, the UEFA Champions League makes a return tonight with match day 7 already underway across Europe. Earlier on, Club Brugge recorded an emphatic 4-1 victory over Kairat to kick off the start of this evening's action. Currently happening is a clash between Manchester City and Bodo Glimt, and surprisingly, the citizens find themselves 2 goals down in the game. If it ends this way, it will be back-to-back defeat for Pep Guardiola's men after losing over the weekend to Manchester United. Ghanaian forward Antoine Semenyo was left out of the squad because he's not eligible to feature until next month after the group stage has concluded. Still to come later tonight at 8 p.m., there are 2 mouth-watering fixtures. That's Inter Milan against Arsenal, while Real Madrid will face Monaco. Joy Sports will bring you live commentary of the Inter Milan versus Arsenal game live on Hits FM 103.9. And that's all for sports.
Thank you very much. And it's still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. The breaking news is our former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has appeared. In fact, is taking his seat before a U.S. immigration judge. His case is just about to be called. He's appearing there following him being declared an illegal alien in the United States upon violating the visa terms. His case is going to be heard pretty shortly. That case is just taking a break. Once that resumes, we'll bring that to live from the Annandale courtroom where Ken Ofori-Atta has been sitting very quietly in the last 30 minutes or so, waiting for his case to be called. His lawyer is there waiting to represent him. You can also join the Joy News channel because we're bringing this to you live as it unfolds when that case is called and his case is called. we will hear what he has to say. And for those of you who just joined us, he appeared before the court is virtual, by the way. He appeared before the court wearing his detainee overall, detainee uniform. It was black. He has the white buttons running through from the top down. And he was wearing a face mask, white face mask, and with his spectacles. Also had a pile of papers in front of him with a pen, and he tried to look through those. So we're waiting to see how this pans out today when his case is called. But before that, as we wait for that to happen, Pep is here with the Geek Squad.
Hi,
what's coming up?
Tonight we're going to be talking about different internet choices that people can make. It's a new year, and for some people, I'm sure they've reviewed the kind of internet that they use, whether it's 4G, 5G. Some people hear this and they wonder what exactly it is. We'll be delving deeper into it so that we can educate our listeners, then they know what kind of choices they can make.
Thank you. Want to stay? My name is Mensah.
My name is Gemma Appiah.